Stop looking for a niche and start exploring your interests. All too often, marketers will tell you, pick a niche, pick a sub-niche, pick a target market, pick a sub-target market. While that's amazing advice for those of you that are semi-clear on what you want to do, it's terrible advice for somebody that once was me, overwhelmed by all the possibilities of what I could do and feeling the pressure and the stress of knowing that I had to pick a niche. When I first quit my corporate job and went into digital marketing, I had no idea what my niche would be. All I knew was that I liked digital marketing. And in that knowing, I allowed myself to be creative and to explore Facebook ads and to explore content production, influencer marketing, social media management. In that allowing, in that creative exploration, I was able to identify what lit me up more and what definitely was not for me. I did not put myself in a box too soon. The reality is, we're not meant to be pigeonholed into one particular subject or one particular niche for too long. In fact, often you'll see creators and business owners pivot, and this is part of a business. Pivoting, realignment, flowing into new course of directions, flowing into new businesses, that's all part of your creative flow. When I first started my business, social media relations, I didn't have a particular niche outside of social media. All I knew was I wanted to support business owners to get online and get a presence online. Mind you, I started my business when social media was brand new, it had just started, nobody really knew how to work with it, and so in this time, there was no real niches created. There was just a bunch of digital marketers figuring it all out together at the same time. This to me was a huge gift because it allowed me the creativity to explore different avenues within social media. At first, I looked into SEO and learned all about that. Decided very quickly that was not for me. And then I went into Facebook ads and I fell in love with that for a period of time, and that actually became one of our core focuses for quite a few years. And then I discovered content production, user-generated content. I realized that producing a commercial or producing videos didn't have to cost the same amount of money that it used to cost. And I fell in love with content production and user-generated content. And then I discovered brands were disconnected from the Hispanic consumer. And I fell in love with that. I fell in love with the idea that I could help brands connect with the Hispanic consumer in an authentic, relatable, meaningful way. My clarity and niche started to show up the more I played into the things that I was interested in. It was out of a flow, out of a place of just allowing myself to practice these different skill sets and to go deeper and deeper into my chosen field that revealed to me my unique genius in the market. My ability to create user-generated content like this to connect with the Hispanic consumer and my expertise in social media were all the perfect formula for me to formulate my niche in my business. And now, as a leader who has explored many different paths, who has felt the overwhelm of what to do next and what path to take on next, I have discovered the power of allowing myself to surrender into my flow state. Meaning that I don't put so much pressure on identifying my niche too soon, because I recognize that the niche will show up in my flowing of the things that I love to do. It goes back to one of my favorite quotes from MLK. You don't need to see the whole staircase to take the first step. If you're curious, if you're interested in a certain business model and you don't quite know your niche, you can always play out a niche specifically that you want to do, or you could allow yourself to play in the field for a little bit and decide what you like to do from the activities that excite you the most. Here's a couple of questions you can ask yourself. What is the work that I get lost in doing without even noticing? What is the task that I would do absolutely for free, even if nobody paid me? What are the things that bring me back to my childhood? The activities, the tasks that I feel like a kid again. Answering these 3 questions will point you in the direction you need to go to towards your flow and creativity. Now, it is imperative that you do pick a niche at some point. When do you pick a niche? When you've got, again, that 80% clarity in terms of what you're enjoying doing, what takes the least amount of effort but gives you the highest yielding results, and what is the value that you're providing your clients that they reciprocate back. Once you identify the services and the areas of expertise that you really enjoy, then you want to sub-niche into your ideal target market. Who's your ideal customer? And the way you're going to get into this is by identifying who you love to work with. Go back in time and think about what customers have been your absolute favorite customers to work with. They've made you feel so much joy, they've appreciated the service you provide them, and they've been the easiest clients to work with. Sometimes you'll have some difficult clients, and that's okay, but you want to pick a client that you can see yourself working with for the next 5-10 years of your career. The good news is that if you do pick a niche and you do pick an ideal client and something changes, you are allowed to pivot. You are allowed to realign and to adjust. All too often, business owners get really caught up in this idea of, I have to have it all figured out before I declare my niche. And no, you don't have to have it all figured out. Yes, there is a repercussion if you start to change your niche every other day, but you're allowed to change your mind every so often. Allowing yourself to have grace in your path, allowing yourself to show up authentically for who you are and what really lights you up, and continuing to pursue those small nudges of desires, of excitement, of information, of where you should be going will reveal to you ultimately your deepest layer of purpose. But don't get caught up in the deepest layer of purpose or identifying or finding that. Because the more you're trying to get something, the more you're like, I need to find this thing, I need to find my deep purpose, the farther away you're pushing that out. Often we feel like the things that we want are far away from us. Success, especially, this definition of success is a big one. We always feel like success is out here somewhere, right? It's far away. And the more we interpret success as being something that's far away, the more we're pushing it away. What we want to create is a life where things are already here. Success is already here. My niche, my focus is already here. My passion is already here. And the more we embody that which we desire, the more we attract it, because like attracts like. It's impossible not to. I'll make a separate video that talks about how to choose a niche and how to focus in on it. But before you watch this video, I want you to really sink into this one and the allowing of the imperfection of your flow, especially the feminine creative energy. The feminine is always flowing. It's an emotional, beautiful energy that is allowed to just play and create. It's not stuck or stagnant. And in such, you're going to change your mind. You're going to have many paths that you can pursue, and you're going to want to explore them. It's in this exploration that you will identify what's not working and what is working for you. Your sole job is just to identify the things that excite you, the things that light you up, and trusting yourself, allowing yourself to continue to lean more into those tasks and shutting down the areas where you're not excited or fulfilled. Here's a tip. The more you feed the things you don't like, the more you feed the narrative of who you are in that side of your life. If you are doing things that do not excite you, if you are doing things that are not moving the needle in the direction you want to be moving into, you are feeding an old identity. If you want to create a new identity, if you want to get clear on your path, you need to start taking small steps towards feeding the new identity of who you desire. We create this identity, we create this desire of who we want to be, but then we take action against that. We say that we want to be healthy, but then we eat the chocolate chip cookie at night. We say we want to be a content creator, but we refuse to actually make a video. The more you feed an old narrative, the stronger it gets. But it's when you start to slowly feed this new narrative of who you want to become and how you want to show up in the world, that new narrative starts to become your new identity, and the embodiment of that new identity feels effortless and easy. It won't always be effortless and easy. In the beginning, it's going to be uncomfortable. It's going to be harder. It's going to feel a little bit different because it's not something you're used to doing. So if you have a hobby, maybe you want to start a recreational sports league, and that's something you really want to get into, but you don't know if you should do that or stick with your day job of accounting. What you can start to do is start to feed this passion just a little bit every day. 1 hour a day is not gonna kill you. In fact, it's gonna change your life. So if you spend 1 hour a day feeding the animal of your passions and your pursuits, You're going to allow yourself to get deeper and clearer on what it is you're meant to be doing. You don't have to quit your day job to pursue your passion. I have another video for that. But what you do have to do is start trusting yourself, allowing yourself to have fun, allowing yourself to play, allowing yourself to get lost in the work that really excites you, and trusting that inner guidance in that very next step without seeing the full staircase. To learn more about starting a business, launching a business, and building a 7-figure business, hit the subscribe button, follow for more content, and let me know what you think.